here. Welcome to the stream. Hope everyone's doing well. Right now, we're just gonna be chilling out, hanging out while I'm heading to my work. And I wanted you guys to see how dark it is when I first am leaving my mom's school. So you guys understand why yesterday I decided to wait a little bit before doing the stream. So you guys didn't have to worry about it being that you guys couldn't see anything around me for some of us and stuff like that. And some of you guys aren't like, wait, how early are you up? So, hope everyone's doing well as we're just chilling out, hanging out on the road again. I hope everyone's doing well as we're just chilling out, hanging out. And once again, sorry about last night. I don't know why. All of a sudden, I dozed off again. Indeed, bro, Adam. I just wanted you guys to see how early it is for me when I'm driving, because I know when I started the stream yesterday that I showed you after I got gas. So I wanted you guys to see it. Thanks, bro, Adam. You as well. Have a great day. If I don't hear from you in a little bit because you have to take care of your stuff. But everything going good for you, bro, Adam? Yeah, we're just chilling out, hanging out. We'll see how many others show up. May not be too many. Who knows for sure. Hopefully at some point you guys let me know if there's connection issue or not, or y'all see buffering or whatnot, so I know if I need to restart the stream or whatnot. Let's see on that. I understand that, especially since you don't know the new guys yet, and you're not quite sure how they're gonna do things yet. You're trying to do your usual thing. Wowza. Yeah, that's a little crazy for them to try to pull that. Especially if you show them that you take vacation at the same time every year. So I'm sure you can show them the different, how it was the last 5 years or so, that you can show them that it was always the same times. So you're just trying to finalize it with them because you submitted it before with the other guys or whatnot. Hope you're able to get it sorted out just so you don't have to stress about it. I understand the stress is there right now, especially to try to maintain your usual schedule. But welcome in everyone that just came in. I'm Rhypi. For those of you that haven't met me, where I do a lot of different games and do these vertical streams to talk to everyone when I'm not doing games. Ah. That makes it a little bit more complicated, but still, it's just one of those cases when you can show it to them. It's just frustrating when they don't want to honor it about it. Because I know some people have the same issue when the new management wants to use a different app. And they don't, because they are using a different app, they don't see the long history of how everyone has the pay raises or the pay or the job titles and stuff like that. They just see the new information. Why is my stand doing that right now? I understand that completely. Especially if you're able to get a hold of your previous management, if they are still, they still respect you, that they should be able to give you a good reference to. Reference/recommendation. But I know that sometimes when it's new management, the old ones try to disappear from the spotlight sometimes. In a figure of speech. As I know it's I understand that. It's one of those cases that always a weird moment to say the least, especially when you know things aren't going the way you want it to. Sometimes, like for me wise, sometimes I don't feel like I'm burning bridge, and other times I'm like, oh no, did I say something wrong? Yeah, I understand that. But for me, wise as a teacher, that there's some things that are supposed to be simple problems, but then they become complicated, hated, and you can't just use the simple answers when it becomes complicated. Even if the original point of the problem was just point out, yes, you're in the right class. That sometimes it can spin from a 2-minute conversation to a 10 minute sometimes because someone's not grasping that you said that counts for them. Because I've had that happen to me a couple years ago when I was still teaching pre-cal. That was like, do I really need this lesson? I was like, yes, if it's your fourth math class. If it's your fifth math class, not as necessary. But what math classes have you took? Especially when it was a student that I didn't know from the previous year. I understand that, but sometimes there's some people that you have to repeat things and stuff like that, so that's why it sometimes feels complicated to if someone else is around and stuff like that. I understand that. Because probability is understanding different set of rules than what we're usually teaching in other math classes, so completely understand. Especially depending on which probability class he was in, if it was more than just the commutation or permutation or rewriting things in a particular order and stuff like that. I know it gets more complicated if you're required to use a calculator or stuff like that. Or if your teacher required you to know the truth tables. Hello, Rex. If you want to use Gamble, make sure you are in here for a little bit and then do Gamble space and how much you want to use, or all if you want to bet all the points you currently have up to the point that you're at the max number. Especially if word problems are not your forte with it. Because I know some people have the struggle of word problems because it's a lot of words to take in. And especially in some parts of our math classes, that sometimes there's extra information to throw you off, or that they purposely leave off a detail to have you say that the answer cannot be found. But if you're not ready to see that kind of question, it confuses you sometimes. So I completely understand. There's like a whole psychology of it that as well, that some people look at me, it's like, are you sure you're not that major? Because you're able to say that line. It's just stuff that I've learned over the years about different things. exactly. Like, exactly. Because that's why, like I said, I just have a feeling it might be either the aspect of the board problems being where they feel sometimes more abstract in some sense for you, or that when you reading it, it feels like you are not able to spot what's not necessary or what's the or like you said, because you're thinking about a lot of variables because you're used to Cal 3, that you're just like, oh, I'm overcomplicating it. Yeah, but that's why not everyone masters. That's why people are shocked for me wise that I say I'm a mathematician and I'm able to do a lot of different classes because usually they expect people to only do one style of class, but I've usually done really good on all maths that I've learned. So I'm one of those weird kids. Yeah, pretty much. Which I can see that, Adam. And even when it's not just formulas and solving, that you're still able to transfer the equations to something that you can easily solve. Where in probability you have to think about more of the reason why that's the case, or the application of doing it. Because we do have formulas in probability, but you have to know which one is the correct one, where in calculus it's not always separated like that unless it's different shapes that we're drawing. Yeah. But that's why, like even in high school, people, when they're trying to be hired or are hiring, they usually try to group a lot of teachers being only that they can tell that are more into algebra or more into geometry, and sometimes more about the other subjects if it comes up afterwards, because most of the time they aren't looking for the other classes, to say the least. So it just depends on how things go. Yeah. I can see that. Yeah, especially the math where you can just focus on solving what you need to solve and stuff like that. Because I know for me, because of how when I'm thinking about starting my master's, I have to make sure that I do what's called computational or application mathematics. Because in some people's language, pure mathematics means proofs, and I don't like proofs. So about 10 years ago, they started having it where you can do what's called the computational or application mathematics, depending on the track of the campus, where you get to do more classes that's more designed for understanding how to solve problems of different things using theories you learn, not you have to prove that the theory exists. So it depends. Like for me, you, Peter, that we're able to just solve things, but in the world of getting your doctorates and masters, they don't always see that eye to eye. Thank goodness I don't have to be behind that person. Hey Ray, how you doing? Welcome in. I'll read your comments in a second since there's heavy traffic right now, guys. But feel free to talk to each other and stuff like that while I'm looking away from the stream right now. And I think you guys understand. Yep. Exactly. That's why I'm just giving you guys a heads up. Of me where they're working on construction, so it's like the shoulders are closed, so it's like I'm always worried about it just because I don't want to have to worry about being next to the barricade or whatnot, so I'm like always slightly more worried about it when I see those, because I'm like, be careful, be careful, be careful, be careful, be careful. Yeah, I'm sure some of us relate to that. It feels like that sometimes, especially when the barrier's right on the line of the highway. And I'm like, don't hit it, don't hit it, don't hit it, don't hit it. Especially if it's concrete barriers and not the simple fence ones. For a little bit. Nope. Here's where it's closest to the lining. some point I still want to talk to you guys about what class I'm teaching, but I want to wait till I'm officially hired as a teacher and consider a guest educator who's covering for that class. Because even though on the school-wise I'm the teacher, but district-wise I'm still considered a guest educator because the paperwork starts still being processed. I'm never quite sure if any of you guys like my humming or not. But if it even is heard in you're on the mic on the phone, because I know it doesn't always pick up. You just had him write it that way, didn't you, Adam? I know some people enjoy when I'm laughing, and why. Some people try to catch me off guard because they're trying to see if I laugh that day or not. I'm from Texas. Texas, Michael. Welcome in. And I can't see the other name right now. Give me a second. Once I get the exit, I'll look at that other name because it's lowercase. Oops. Not the turn yet. Yep. Good morning to you. Where are you, Michael? So I can say if it's good morning, afternoon, or evening to you. Looks like we have Finn. If I'm reading it right. Finn and Danny. Welcome in, guys. Nice. Nice, so it is something for you as well. But I think you're about 2 hours behind me, if I remember where you are correctly. Yeah, I'm guessing you usually have to get up early for your work as well. Hello, Shami. In a second, I'll be able to read more of your comments and comments once I'm parked, because I'm about a minute, 2 minutes away. About what, Michael? Because I know you said hi earlier, so that's why I'm at. Not sure which one you're referring to, Michael, because I saw what you said earlier about where you are. Yep. Yeah, I remember reading it. That's why I said it's cool that I see another person from Canada. Because even though I'm not from Canada, I know a couple of my friends and YouTuber friends that are from Canada. So it's always cool to see how many of you guys I see from time to time from Canada or Canada, depending on how. Because I know there's both ways of saying it. I know Canada is more how we say in US, and Canada, I think it's the correct way of saying it, if I remember correctly. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm just trying to remember what my other friends have told me. Oh, you're heading out. Michael, have a good one. Yep. What time is it for you, Adam? Alrighty. Okay, Fatima is who I saw earlier, and I was right about Finn and Danny. Let's see what else I missed. Wow, some anime just read about the proof thing. Yep, exactly about the two types of affinities. But yeah, I just, for me wise, I've had interesting I had bad professors / teachers. Because I like proofs, I just didn't like how some of them taught it to me. Because I had one who said it best, teach it to the dumbest person in class. And when we did that, try to tell us that we wasn't going to get the points despite us doing that because someone in our class was taking the class before our class. So we had to explain what the property was during the proof. And stuff like that. Because this same professor, if I didn't write word to word what he wrote on the notes, I would get points taken off as well. So I didn't like that aspect of things. Things that I even on the last day before finals, because I got so tired of him because I knew I wasn't going to pass the class anyways. I looked at him and was like, can you stop spoon feeding us the information? I know it wasn't the best moment of me being mad, but it was just already to the tipping point, especially when he kept on trying to say, this is how you answer this question if you see something like this. Oh gosh, what happened in advanced biology? Yeah. Especially if they heard that the teacher gives curves and then you show up and everyone's starting to realize they'll only get 5 or 6 points instead, or even 1 point because they found out the person who made a 99 on the test or 95 on the test. I can understand that. Especially when it doesn't always follow the same pattern at the very beginning of it when you're first learning it, and even when you go beyond it, it's its own set of rules sometimes too, of what I remember from it. at one point, when I was debating about different things I wanted to do, was thinking about pursuing chemistry at one point, just to try to do science related stuff. But then I was just like, more and more, I enjoy math more than I did chemistry, so I just decided to stick with math. I still did some of the general chemistry classes slash university physics, university chemistry, stuff like that. Because my first degree of where I was at my first university, I was required to do 4 science classes. When I switched to the school that I ended up graduating from, only required 2, so they used the other science classes as fill in for different core classes, because I was considered core complete for the classes that I was supposed to take, but because I was considered core complete, they couldn't force me to take them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, some things like how to do, and if it's been a couple years, you're like, okay, I need to refresh myself. I don't remember why I wrote this. I didn't give myself notes to remember this. No, this when I'm not trying to memorize it. Because that's why, like, for me as a teacher slash tutor now, anytime I'm learning stuff, I'm always writing off to the side, just in case I forget it later, what things to help a student remember it and stuff like that. I always write that in my notes now. Yeah, especially if it's not what you go into your field for. Or because sometimes you learn stuff that only applies once a year or once a month, or you're like, wait, I have to know that now. It's been 5 years. But that's why sometimes some people loathe the teachers, because they get really good about teaching their one class that if they are asked to do a different subject, it takes them a whole year to feel as confident to go to teach that next topic. Yeah. Yeah, indeed, Adam. Like, a lot of people enjoy that. I know some people prefer information dumping because they don't want to think for themselves, is how some people describe it, and why they like information dumping. Some people like it because they want to absorb all the knowledge from the teacher, so they know the knowledge now. Yeah, I understand completely. Because for me, that's also that I've done a lot of different things, that I've tutored a lot of different classes from when I was in 7th grade all the way. And even now, I still do private tutoring for both college classes, university classes, high school, and on rare occasions, middle school, because I get a parent that I used to talk. It's like, hey, can you help my son or daughter? And I was like, what class is it? And why I'm still debating about having it where it's an official business, just so I can slowly get a team of tutors to where we're all helping each other. If I get a lot of requests for a subject, if we're all good on it, I can split up the load of who teaches what. But I know some topics that might be just me tutoring, because I know it really well. But I thought about it both times. I didn't have a full-time job yet, both before I started my teaching journey and last year, but because you had to register your name and stuff like that, that it never went to fruition because I never had the funds, and I didn't want to just ask people for funds. Nice, Adam. Yeah, our school had math honor society, and if we was in there, we was allowed to tutor people in math at other campuses besides just the ones who was doing the teaching program. So, because that was how we did our service hours, was by tutoring. I know I came across it. I don't know if I've looked at it in detail yet, but I've seen it. Seen some of them. Yeah. But like I said, it's just one of those cases that I just thought about doing different things because I just wanted to be that eventually, if I have this business and have it where it's growing steadily, that it's a way for me to help people that need jobs that aren't always thinking that they can be a tutor, and show them how they can become a tutor so they can have a good amount of money until they decide they want to go back to what they do comfortably or enjoy doing because they got an offer and stuff like that. Nice. So I know for me wise, I've tried applying for a couple of online tutoring places, but despite me having now 17 years of tutoring experience, I still don't look at my application or say I'm not who they're looking for. I'm like, I'm gonna try to convince you otherwise if you're already in that boat. I was saying that. Understand that, bro Adam. I understand that completely. But that's why I wanted to get some kind of full-time job. So if I do decide to do the tutoring business, I'm able to do it on the side and not just have it be my main job at the moment till it grow to be where maybe I could do it without doing anything else. I understand that. I just for me, it's hard for me to feel selfish because I just like helping everyone I can, bring positivity where I can and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, I know someone needs to hear it. Whether I'm teaching, whether it's me doing this with you guys, where I'm doing the game, or talking to you guys, that I know that that's one of the things that I know I should be worried about that more, but it's just like sometimes, as people say, too carefree. So I understand completely why you said that, bro Adam, because I know why you say it too, because I know what you've have experience of what we talked about before and stuff like that. That's why every time I miss something in chat, I always feel bad because I'm like, oh no. Because I want to make sure that I talk to you guys. Because I don't want it to be that I forget to say something and then I'm like I've tried to mention the person and I know they're not in chat anymore and stuff like that. But I know that's why I never really say, because I don't want to feel like I'm robotic when I say it. Be like, don't forget to hit the like button. I don't want to feel like that sounds like I'm robotic when I say it and stuff like that. But I know that some people have it because they're worried about that for themselves. They just have it as a pop-up every once in a while on stream instead of it being something that they say out loud. Because of them worried about it coming off too robotic for them. And some people have shown me how I just haven't implemented it on my stream because I've been still trying to figure out how I want it to show it. Because even though I made different layouts now, but I'm like, do I want to change it again? But you guys got to see the evolution of being very dark outside to very bright outside in some sense. For those of you that have been with me the whole time. Yeah, that's why every time I do get donuts or memberships, it always surprises me because I know that I'm not doing it where some of the people that we know that are very top streamers, like have 100K plus people, that they have it where it's built into them to constantly remind people to donate or member up at least once an hour. And for me, I'm like, I say maybe once a stream, unless I'm talking about it as something of talking about different topics. Indeed. I just feel bad that I fell asleep on you guys both last night and the night before. But I know some of you guys like the ZZZ streams, as some of you guys have quoted them before. But I'm still planning to edit them at some point this weekend if I don't do it before that, because I don't want it to be where it's long periods of time of the sleep. I understand that. And I know it always shocks people that I don't drink coffee in the morning, I don't drink energy drinks and stuff like that. That's like, how do you wake up in the morning, like, naturally? Because even in college, I never wanted to do it. Yeah, that's what a lot of people say when you see someone asleep at college, especially when you see them in the library and their head is in the books or head is in their electronic device, depending on which year we're talking about. And then you have the ones that will bang their pans or pots to make sure everyone's awake around them. And you have both kinds of people in a dorm sometimes. For those of us that have lived in the dorm/apartment life. Yeah, I need to think of what I'm gonna do for Demo Thursdays, because I'm not able to look at my demo list of if there's anything I haven't played since I'm away from my computer. Oh gosh. I understand that. I just remember for me, I had a lot of bad roommates, but the one that made me really upset, he said he was grad student, but then apparently he requested someone that doesn't snores, and he didn't like, even though mine was the quietest snore of everyone on the floor, he didn't like mine, so he tried to bring his mattress to the common area of the dorm floor, and the RA's like, you can't do that. and and was demanding the 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 dorm person in charge of it to switch him out. And when I explained a couple days later about I had a bad roommate, once she connected that it was that was my roommate, she made him pay almost double the price of what the room was originally, for him to move from a double room to a super single, because he was being that rude to her. and then the next week, once she realized that was who my roommate was, she deeply apologized that she didn't move him sooner. And what was interesting is, like, we had other grad students besides undergrad students on our floor, and even then, and one of them was also a lawyer who the one I was talking, that was my roommate, was. So the dude was like, really, dude, you're making us look bad of us being allowed to stay in here. And he defended me because he met me the previous semester. So it's one of those interesting things, to say the least. Alrighty. So probably gonna head out now so I can start making sure I'm ready for my students. But I hope everyone has a good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on when you're watching this stream or video, or responding to any of my community posts that wants to respond to them. Just remember that we got this, everyone. So just make sure that you do things that makes you enjoy what you can. And interesting, bro, Adam. Yeah, that is an interesting connection. Yeah. Yeah, it happens sometimes, unfortunately, that people don't think things will happen until it happens sometimes. But yeah. But, but yeah. But yep. It's like I tell my students, I know all you guys have your own stories, and I want to be able to know that so I can help you guys. Because I know everyone has a different reason why they're in the class. That some of us may have similar reasons, but some of us may have very different reasons, to say the least. That's why I try to help out as best as I can, but I know not everything I know will help everyone, so it just depends on what's going on. But I'll catch you guys all later, since I'm going to go to the building, and I know the building is not going to have the best reception. Thanks, bro, Adam. And I know we'll talk more at some point, whether it's on these streams or on Discord at some point. Just keep in mind, I won't be able to respond to comments when I'm in class sessions, but if you guys want to contribute to the conversations of the different community posts, feel free to do so if you want to. And I'll respond to them either during my lunch break or after school. Just remember, you got this, guys. Enjoy your day / night / afternoon. Just remember, have a good one, regardless of when I see you guys next. Have a good one, guys. Peace.